It's no secret that housing prices have fallen across the U.S., but are they going to continue to fall? And how quickly are they going to bounce back? Stay tuned to find out. But first, we need you guys to go in and hit that like button and subscribe so you can always get a current market update. What's up, you guys? Justin and Michelle, and we are going to be doing an article review today. This one is by Insider, and the author's name is James Ferris, and it is titled 6 Reasons Why the U.S. Housing Market is Well Positioned to Absorb a Series of Corrections as Prices Fall Quickly. And drumroll, I've got this beautiful case of laryngitis today, so y'all bear with us here.
She's going to do a TikTok dance while I do most of the talking.
Yes, pretty much. So I'm back here on Vanna White. So what do you do?
Okay, so they talk about how U.S. home prices fell for the first time in 32 months at the fastest rate in 11 years. If you've watched our channel, that's no surprise. We've been telling you guys that for months now. And so it is falling. It has fallen. It probably will fall a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But what we hear people saying all the time is it's a crash and it's bigger than 2008 crash and it's like end of the world scenario is going to happen. You wait and watch and see. Yeah. And although we are one of the first people to be preaching that yes, prices would start going down, we're also kind of on the same bandwagon as this article that this is the crash that we're in. This is
the crash, yeah.
And it's not going to be a major crash. It's going to be very temporary. And there's 6 specific reasons why that is the case that this article gets into and that we're going to talk about today. So let's hear your beautiful voice. You try to read this part.
All right. So while lower prices may be the start of a broader trend as home demand weakens, homeowners and sellers shouldn't worry too much because the market is still very healthy. According to September report from Black Knight, which Insider was able to review ahead of its release. Overall, the market is strong footing to weather a correction, the report said. And I feel like that's the best term for this is a correction.
Yes,
it's not a crash, correction.
We went up way too fast, wasn't healthy. This is kind of correcting us back down to probably what a more normal market should have been last year, which will be a decent amount of equity still, but not the 28% that we saw last year.
Exactly. And this next part is, we've talked about this a lot. Go ahead, Justin.
So number 1, still scarce inventory will keep home prices afloat in the long run. So I'll kind of try to zoom in for you guys. But inventory levels are still really low. Specifically here in Utah, we're about 30,000 homes short of what is needed for the current demand. You guys, that's a big deal. At the peak, we were at about 55,000 homes short. So we've made a dent in that, but it's still not even half of what it should have been in order to get us back. And how does that compare to 2008, 9, 10, 11? Well, we built more homes from the year 2000 to the year 2007 than at any other period in history over a decade. So we built more in 7 years than in any 10-year period of time. So we were overbuilt in 2008, 9, 10, 11 versus right now we're still underbuilt. That's obviously a great reason why things aren't going to crash. If you're underbuilt versus overbuilt.
For sure. And then demand's there. If interest rates did go down, people want the houses.
Yeah, and that's what this paragraph talks about. Housing inventory is still 45% below where it was from 2017 to 2019 at just 622,000 units, the report reads. Home sales could continue for only 3.1 more months if home building was paused, according to Black Knight, which is about half of the 6 months of inventory that present is in a normal market. If sales continue to fall at the rate they have the past 4 months and listings continue to build at their current pace, inventory would cross that 6-month threshold by December. So, again, inventory was climbing like crazy.
It was, yep.
We were getting about 500 active new homes on top of what we already had every single week, but we saw that stop in August.
Yeah.
It has paused here in Utah, probably other areas because we saw the drop faster, maybe aren't pausing.
Yeah.
But it does not look like by December in any way, shape, or form that we're even gonna get to that 6-month supply of active homes.
Right.
In Utah, that would have to double the inventory it is now. And currently, we just are not going up fast enough. And so although it's still a buyer's market, it's not going to reach that by December. Mark our words.
Right. So this next one is really interesting. So leverage is at record low levels. So what they're talking about this is the relation of equity that people have in their houses versus to what they owe on it. They call that loan to value ratio.
Yep.
And here is the graph for you guys that want to see. So
it's talking about negative equity rates. And so this line right here is kind of where we're at right now. And you look at where people were back in 2009, 10, 11, 12. We are so far away from that dangerous area that when people do get in trouble, they can still afford their payment and or have the equity to sell their house.
And in layman's terms, I remember people saying they were upside down in their house. So that graph shows that it's like very, very rare to see somebody upside down in their house nowadays.
Yep.
So
real estate, it says real estate market level is currently at just 42% of mortgage homes values. And that rate is the lowest on record.
Wow.
Number 3, negative equity rates are depressed. So this is kind of your underwater scenario, right? And that was like, I remember in 2009, we like all our postcards that we were sending out to people had a picture of a house, and around the house was like one of those life thingies that you throw to someone who's drowning. One of those circle life thing, and it was like, is your home underwater? Call us. We're the short sale specialists. We'll help you save your home type stuff.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Well, and this graph shows right now 4 projections. So I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. This first light dark blue line is how many people are currently underwater. It's less than 100,000 people, homeowners, are underwater. If prices decline 5%, which they basically have here in Utah and other areas, then we're going to experience about 300,000 people underwater. If it drops by 10%, then we'll have 600,000 people. And if it drops by 15%, we'll still be under 1 million people underwater. Now, the question is, how does that compare to 2008, 9, 10, 11?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. 31% of homeowners in 2011 were underwater.
Compared to 1% now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have such a long ways to go before we see this massive foreclosure crisis, which we'll talk about in a couple sections coming up. Number 4.
Awesome. Tappable equity is at record highs for now anyway. So tappable equity is basically equity that people have in their homes that they can get their hands on if they need it. A lot of people might use it for medical bills, or some people use it for remodeling their house. But the point is, they could get that out, at least right now, if they needed it.
Yeah. You lose your job and go get another one, and you have a little bit of delay. You get a pay cut, something like that. They've got equity to still make their payments, to tap into for medical bills, like you said.
Yes.
Your voice is doing pretty good.
All
you
right.
haven't squeaked very high, so let's keep it rolling.
All right, here we go. Withdrawn equity levels are at a 17-year low. And I remember this back in 2006, 2007. I remember people just all of a sudden, there was a lot of people that had brand new boats, brand new campers, brand new trailers. Do you remember that? And a lot of people were tapping into that equity. That hasn't happened as much.
They have tapped into it, but prices have gone up so much that we still are at record lows.
Oh, their total amount of equity.
Yes, their total amount of equity.
Yeah.
They still have a ton more, even though they have bought that trailer, they have bought that boat, they have remodeled that house. There's still a lot of room for them, for prices to go down and them still have that equity, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you are in a tough time, and your house is underwater, well, yes, that's a problem.
Right.
You're not going to make any money, so you're going to trash your house. You're not going to take care of the yard.
Yeah.
You're going to not spend money, right? And the house is going to turn to crap. So then when that home forecloses and the bank takes it back, the bank's going to have to fire sell that thing just to get it unloaded because it stinks, ugly, all of the above. But if people have the equity, they'll take care of it still, so that they can just turn around and sell it.
When I was in REO, people used to dump concrete down the toilet. I'm not joking.
Yes.
Yeah,
like they hated the banks. And that just hurts everyone's values when that stuff happens.
So crazy. All right, and delinquency and foreclosure rates are historically low. So we've touched on this before. Foreclosures are still very, very low right now, which is good because when foreclosures go up, values come down.
Yep.
So.
And again, another thing compared to, we're right here, okay, guys? National average is 2.89% versus this graph. And I don't know who did their graphs because there's a couple of them that aren't that accurate. They're showing at an 11% foreclosure rate. So we know based on the numbers of foreclosures here in Utah that we're even in better shape than this, like extremely better. I can't remember what the exact stat was, but we were like 0.006.
Yes, I remember that.
Percent of homes that were in foreclosure here in Utah versus at the height, it was like 15%. And the height was in 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. So again, foreclosures are a big deal. I already said what I said about them. You don't want foreclosures, but the fact that we don't have them means we're going to recover. And that's the summary out of all of this, you guys. I want every economist out there. I want every person, couch, watching YouTube, smartest people in the world to show me why this is wrong. Show me why this is wrong. If rates keep going up, yes, that will cause a problem. But seeing what's specifically happening here in Utah, I want you guys to tell me why we're wrong, because our prediction is that yes, it's going to be rough for the next month or two, maybe 3, right? If inflation doesn't get under control, it could be rough for longer and we could change our prediction. But right now, stuff is stabilizing. Stuff is looking good in terms of we see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a little drop for people to get in, buy at a lower price, buy smart, but you know what? I fully expect prices to start to recover next year. And when that happens and everybody's shocked, don't be shocked because we told you.
Seriously.
That this was happening, and this is very, very good, concise article of some of the reasons why that is going to happen.
I agree completely, but we do want to hear from you guys, so make sure to drop a comment if you have any questions or feedback, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us. Drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
See ya.